Yes, guys, I was seeing the kids of Beyonce and Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian, and they have like so much money. I'm like, oh my God. And I mean, it's really good to have that money. Obviously, we all want money, and it's so nice if you can live in a world where you don't have to worry about money. I mean, I've been poor all my life, even now, and so it's good to live in a world where you have money. Definitely. For me, I know where I'm going to end up. I'm going to have a lot of money on social media because I'm very good and I do a good job. So I know, and people love me. So I know I'll be famous. But for me, I know it seems silly, and you're like, why on earth would you want this? Why on earth is this something you would want? I actually prefer being famous later on in life and doing the things I wanted later on in life because I know for a fact that having done that, like being one of those kids, I mean, you're spoiled, and I mean, it could work for them. I know people that are doing well financially that have kids that are doing well, and their kids do really well, and they grow up being mature and they do what they want, but they are respectful, right? And they have what they want. But for me, I think it's really beneficial to me to have been famous now. I think it's really beneficial to me. I don't think I would have handled it well. I mean, obviously, I don't know. I mean, some kids do just fine, right? I think a lot of kids do. I think a lot of kids that are wealthy do fine. But some of the money can make this is the reason why I say it. There's a lot of kids that have money that do very well, and a lot of kids that don't have money that do very well. But and there's people all kinds of levels of what they do well, whatever, right? The reason why I like it this way for me, and I think everybody would like it this way, is because it's better to be poor when you're young and then rich when you get older, right? Than it is to be rich when you're young and poor to get older, right? So, I mean, I'm assuming they're going to do very well and they're going to be financially set even in their older days and they're going to be very famous. But it's better to be rich when you are poor, starting out poor, than to be poor when you're starting out rich, right? So I think for me, I just prefer the alternative, right? This is what I like, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the show. I love you guys for being so kind to me, totally supporting me. Now remember guys, when you see all these stories of successful celebrities and maybe you're struggling, like for me, I have a hard time right now. I'm really having a hard time. But when you see all these stories of successful celebrities and all that, they went through the same things we did, right? If you're not a celebrity now and you will be or whatever, they went through the same things we did. A lot of them grew up poor. A lot of them have way worse situations than you, even though you might not be able to tell, right? So really, it's awesome for them. They've earned it. They've done well. It's rare, and so they're very lucky, and they've worked hard to get that, right? So it is really good on them. But for me, I just think, even though I'm struggling, I know what the end result is going to be. And, as a child of a wealthy family, I mean, it's great, and some kids do very, very well. Like I said, a lot of kids probably do exceptionally well like that. But I think if you don't grow up with having struggles or tough things, and, their childhood, their growth, whatever, as becoming adults, I don't know what their journey is going to be like. But for me, I had a struggle for sure, being poor and struggling for sure. And, being famous later on is really beneficial in my eyes. I think it's good to be poor when you're growing up. I mean, I never would have imagined I would have had a channel or done anything like this and seen myself the way that I see myself now. So, in general, I don't think it's a bad thing to be poor when you grow up. I mean, Britney Spears was poor, like Oprah was poor. Some of these people were poor when they started out, right? So if you are poor and struggling, but you know where you're going to end up, sometimes it's better to be dealing with struggles than to completely know what it's like to be rich and know nothing about being poor. And I don't think it's for everybody like that, right? Like I said, I think some kids do exceptionally well. Lots of kids. I mean, if you grow from money, that means you have a better opportunities, right? So I'm sure they'll do very, very well. But in general, it is better for me. This is my journey to have come from being poor to get out of it and to be rich eventually, right? And maybe for you too, right? If you are poor too, right? Anyway, thank you. Bye now. Au revoir.